I know you've heard from someone at the port of Constansa who's really worried about this. Can you tell us what he told you?
So I had a brief chat with I wouldn't go as far as to say sources, but people I've met, people I've interviewed in the past concerning the grain story. And I've been working, you and I have been working on this story together, and I've been following it closely as a Romanian journalist here. And what people involved in the shipping of grains through Constanța port are telling me at the moment is that if Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland will actually stop the grain imports from Ukraine, Constanța port will be brought down to a halt and it's going to be completely overwhelmed. So we are facing a huge crisis that is not only concerning Romania and Ukraine, but the whole world, because these grains need to be shipped to all kinds of places around the world. And a lot of countries depend on grains from Russia and Ukraine.
What do you think this all means? I mean, it's really delicate for Romania because on this it's a frontline country, but they're very supportive of Ukraine sort of politically in the war effort to try and fight off the Russian invasion. Do you think we're at a tipping point in the sentiment in Romania on this? And what would happen if we tipped over?
Absolutely. My impression is that we are at exactly that tipping point, and not just about grains, about the whole idea of supporting Ukraine. Now, Romanians have been very supportive in the beginning of the war, as most Eastern European countries, and the international community in general, Western international community, as they gathered at the borders, they offered humanitarian aid. People put up their houses. And for the most part, they were welcoming to Ukrainians. And I say where because in the last 2 or 3 months, I've noticed a anti-Ukrainian sentiment in Romania, not as strong as, let's say, maybe other parts of the world where it's been fueled by Russian propaganda. That's not the case in Romania. Romania is very much a country where Russian propaganda doesn't really work. I would say that Romanians are mostly not anti-Ukrainians, but they're getting to be desensitized by what's happening in Ukraine and Ukrainian problems such as grain exports, maybe refugee issues, helping the refugees transiting the country. Let's not forget that Romania is not a country where Ukrainians choose to stay. They mostly transit our country and they move westwards, maybe to Austria, Germany, and other countries. But definitely we are at a tipping point, and any decision that the Romanian government will take in the following days will be detrimental to that sentiment. It's got to either fuel that anti-Ukrainian sentiment, or it's gonna maybe help people understand that Ukrainians need the support. They desperately need our help, and that's going to show up in the polls and in the elections that are coming next year. And let's not forget, Romanian politicians are looking at this Ukrainian issue through the upcoming elections, through polls and through their votes that are going to get or not based on this hot potato that it's becoming, the Ukrainian crisis.